And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your Precision Racing League's PS4 American F1 Championship Series. I'm your host for this evening, Hootius. Out there in Twitch land, you know me as Old Man Hoot. And obviously, right off the bat, there is no secret where we're at tonight. Season number 10, race number 10, jolly old England. We're at Silverstone. Now, last time we were at Silverstone, this is what we saw. We had rainy conditions in qualifying, yet last time was more of a downpour. Now we have intermediate conditions. Now a special treat for us tonight. We had a rainy qualifying, a dry race last time at Silverstone. Tonight, rainy qualifying, a rainy start to the race, and then it's going to dry out. Strategy is going to be at an absolute maximum tonight. It's going to be fantastic. So already we've got guys hitting the tracks. The intermediates are flying. Nobody went on the full wets. You see there's barely a bit of a drizzle. You're seeing the mist get kicked up off the back of these cars. While everybody's out there and getting started in, Bubba is mowing some lawn early tonight. Let's jump. Actually, he has not left the pits yet. But let's go back last week. Red Bull Ring. It was such an absolutely amazing race. One of the most fun calls that I've had the privilege to do with any commentary in a PRL race. Before the pit stops, we had a 4-car battle for the lead. After the pit stops, it was champion versus champion. McSendit and Forza going wheel to wheel with the Ferrari driver prevailing and Forza claiming his first victory on the season. Last time here at Silverstone, in the wet conditions, Forza actually qualified on the pole. He was looking at a podium finish until wing damage by a car on a different pit strategy, if you will. It cost Forza here at Silverstone, whether it's rain or dry, you need the wing. It needs to be in pristine condition. There's some fast corners. You need that aerodynamics. Forza unfortunately had a broken front wing. Silverstone has a humongous pit road. It takes a ton of time to come in, get your tires, and get out. We're going to see a lot of guys go for the one-stop strategy to minimize their time on pit road. That's what happened to Forza last time around. He decided not to pit, stayed on the broken wing. He finished 4th. Our points leader, McSendit, who finished... He crossed the line in 2nd place last week. Finished 3rd due to a time penalty. Last time we were here, McSendit led the first 10 or so laps and then proved he was human. He had 4 unforced errors that resulted in himself finishing outside of the top 10. He didn't DNF, he just straight up finished outside of the points. McSendit has used that as a lot of motivation this week. He doesn't want that happening again. He wants to prove that, that was just a one-time slip. And our defending champion is looking to set everything right tonight. Alright, we have a nice full lobby, 17 cars tonight, and actually what we're going to go ahead and do is, we're going to stay on McSendit since he's about to start a fresh lap. We're going to let the champ give us a tour of Silverstone for those not familiar. Coming off the last turn, here we go, the pit straight. This is where your start-finish line is. Now in dry conditions, turn 1 right here can be flat out. It's going to be tricky in these wet conditions. Then you go into your left-hander turn 2. Here's your first hard braking zone, turn 3. This can provide overtake opportunities. Into a little short chute, another harder braking zone. This is an elongated, not even a double apex. It's just pretty much 2 back-to-back left turns. If somebody gets on your inside, you can carry the momentum on the outside into what this would be a DRS straight. However, in rain conditions, it's obviously off into a nice windy late apex left into a long right-hander. Coming out of the right-hander, you're going to floor it. Oh, a little bit of wheel spin there from Extended. You're going to have a bend. Again, this bend is just flat out. Here is going to be the trickiest corner we're going to have on the night. Guys are going to take this sharp right-hander to the maximum. They're going to try to push wide. They can spin hitting the curbing. They can go wide and get a track limit. So it's going to be very interesting to see into this elongated double S. Right-hander to finish it off. And now it's quick break to the left. And now we're on it again. Here's DRS zone number 2. We're going to an elongated right-hander. This is going to provide a very tricky passing opportunity. But if you get that inside line, you want to try to make it stick because you're immediately going to bend back to the left and into a very hard braking zone. Guys can try to outbrake each other going into here. You're going to go right, stomp on it. It's going to bend more to the right. It's flat out, and then you're back on the pit straight. And there you go. That is a lap around Silverstone. As McSendit just bettered his pole time already. He had a 40.59 in these conditions. He's a half second up on Odoms, who is able to make it this week. Unfortunately, last week, Odoms had a little bit of a health issue. Had to go to the hospital. Wasn't 100%. Decided to take the week off at Red Bull Ring. He definitely would have made it a 5-car battle. But, but more power to him. He had to do what was best for him. He's already showing that he's going to get back in contention tonight. Go strong form. He's currently sitting P2. The man currently sitting P3 is the winner last time we were here at Silverstone. Dahi, who used just great tire conservation to his benefit. He started on supers. He finished on softs. He one-stopped with the two softest compounds, where Forza and several others were doing a super soft and a medium one-stopper. Nick was able to do a supers and a regular soft one-stopper, and just had tremendous pace on his way to his only victory last season. Currently sitting in P3, he definitely wants to defend it. Now, we saw it earlier. Unfortunately, Aerostrike has had some issues, but he's currently sitting P4. A lot of guys went in the pits, get a fresh set, so we'll see if Aero's able to hold on there. I'm not sure if that was a disconnection or a crash out from Aero. We'll find out. Now, I'm looking into our Twitch chat here, and it looks like, and this was what I was wondering too, because the raindrops are getting very, very minimum. Odoms is going to be the first one to try it out. He is electing to go back out on the super softs. So the track is going to dry out. We're going to see how many more guys try to do this strategy. This was very familiar, or very similar to last time we were here at Silverstone. It was full wets. It did start to dry out at the end, and we had a couple guys attempt intermediates, but it was too wet for those conditions, so it's going to be very interesting. Our guys who go out there in slicks, are they going to be able to improve? Very little traffic out there right now. We got McLaren, we got Pack. Actually, no, Pack is coming in the pits. McLaren is out there. I'm wondering if the guys who are out there are going to come into the pits and try to get on those slicks. We're under 3 minutes. They do have time to try to get in there, but they've got to get in and out. And Aerostrike is in chat, and he informed that was a driver error. Turn 2 bit him. Which, turn 2 actually, last time we were here at Silverstone, that started the downfall of McSendit. So if you lose it in turn 2, you're on the same skill set as a world champion. So there you go. All right, here we go. McSendit's thrown on supers. We already talked about Odom's got the supers fitted. KWP is not going to make it around in time, so he went ahead and retired. Aaron Webb is going to throw on the supers. Aaron Webb was not available to race at Silverstone last time around, so this will be his first partake here in F1 2017. J-Rod. Last time we were here, too, J-Rod actually had a good qualifying effort, qualified 5th. Had issues in the race, but was able to use raw pace and race himself back up to a 6th place finish. So J-Rod is pretty comfortable here. He'll definitely want to try to keep his streak going after getting his first podium just a few races ago. And Jacko calls it out in chat. Forza is currently sitting P12. Remember, he was the pole sitter last time here at Silverstone, so not sure if his setup is not prime for these conditions. We'll see, but he is getting the supers on, and he's going to go back out there, and these guys have to go. We are at a minute and a half. Jacko, I was just thinking the same thing. We are now, like the guys who are leaving right now, a minute and 20, a minute 15, they're not going to make it around in time. Some of these guys waited way too long to leave pit road. All right, McSendit is going to be fine. Odoms is going to be fine. That's it for Dahi. And that's going to be it for Woody, too. Woody has had issues. So he went ahead and retired. Here's the one I'll be interested to see. J-Rod looks J-Rod's going to be close, but I believe he is going to be able to start his lap. Psycho, I don't know. Psycho's pushing it too much. Aaron might be close. McSendit is on his hot lap now. Odoms. It's going to be close for Odoms. I don't think Odoms is going to have it. K-Dog went ahead and retired. Lots of drama here in the final few seconds qualifying. Who can start their lap? Odoms is going to have to give it everything to see if he can get to the start-finish in time. We're going to stay on top of the McLaren. He's got 8 seconds. Now, the start-finish line is pretty close to the beginning of the pit straight. 1. He didn't do it. Odoms just missed out by, it was just around 1 second. All right, so McSendit is out there. J-Rod is out there. Aaron Webb is on a hot lap. And then we had a handful of guys who had tried to attempt to make it out there. Unfortunately, could not go. Chapa is still out there on intermediates, but you can see there's just, it's too dry. The tires are sliding, so unfortunately Chapa is not going to be able to improve us on his time. McSendit is looking for a buffer. We're going to watch J-Rod and Aaron Webb. Alright, Aaron's attacking the double S's. Let's try to find J-Rod on the track. You see, still a little bit of mist. Alright, J-Rod's coming up to the final few turns. Slides a little bit. Alright, here we go. To the pit straight. To the start-finish line. J-Rod jumps P1. McSendit is still out there, though. He is on the supers. Let's see what happens. Aaron Webb as well. McSendit took P1 back. So J-Rod to P2. Let's see what happens with Aaron Webb. Aaron Webb jumps up to P2. Wait, so was Odoms on a flyer? He was! I thought Odoms missed it. Odoms was on a flyer. I think Odoms just stole the pole. He did. Odoms snagged the pole at the last second. Blistering lap. Beats McSendit out by 0.8 of a second. Aaron Webb is going to start third. J-Rod is going to start fourth. The only 4 drivers who is able to get these slick tires on and get out there and take advantage of the drying track. Dahi's going to be 5th. Arrow 6th. Woody 7th. Psycho in 8th. Grosjean, I believe that's Brian Mosser. And then KWP are going to round out your top 10. And we got K-Dog, Chapa. Forza in 13th is going to be the driver to watch. That is a huge shocker. Apparently he had issues with traffic when he was out there on his hot lap. Now, what's interesting about this, and what's great for Aaron and J-Rod, everybody is going to have to start on inners. The race is starting wet and will dry out. The guys in the back of the pack, especially for Forza, he is not going to get that outside the top 10 tire advantage. So everybody is going to start on inners, and then we're going to see when is the strategy call to come in and put on slicks. How long are these raindrops going to go? It's going to be very interesting to see if, depending on how far we get into the race, if we're going to see softs or mediums when the track starts drying out. Everybody is trying to set up their strategy. More importantly, trying to get the fuel ready. I do believe we're going to have a lot of tire changes going on the fly based on when this track dries out. Remember, there's no formation lap. As soon as we get gridded up, we are going to go. All right, let's go to Dahi. We're going to jump on the Williams in 5th place. You see the inners out for everybody. And we're going. All right, we see there's position changes in the back. Guys just getting better traction than others off the start. Up front, McSendit is trying to challenge Odoms. Aaron and J-Rod stay tucked in their positions. Nick is going to look underneath J-Rod. Aaron's taking a peek at McSendit. All right, Nick is not going to be able to make it stick. J-Rod's going to get 4th back. Our top 5 are going to stay the same. As a matter of fact, our top 7 are going to stay the same. Let's go back further in the field. Renga is already at +6 right now, so great start for the other Mercedes. We see a huge gaggle back there. Forza is starting to pick guys off. He's already, he's up +1 right now. Let's go to up front. Odom's had a slip. McSendit took the top spot. Dahi has taken back his spot from Aerostrike. Those gentlemen appear to be battling it out right now. Now, in these wet conditions, there is going to be no DRS until this track dries out. McSendit trying to use this. He had the pace too before, they threw the slicks on at the end of qualifying. Oh, Odoms gets tires in the grass there. Very dangerous. Gotta watch out. That did cost him. See, it cost him about a half second there. Matter of fact, that's allowing Aaron Webb to get a really nice run. Aaron's gonna not go for the move. He's just gonna stay tucked in behind Odoms. Dahi again attacking J-Rod. Dahi's gonna have the preferred line going into the left-hander. Can J-Rod get a good enough run to keep outside? No, Nick's going to clear him. So move Dahi up to P4. Got Aerostrike now tucked in behind J-Rod. Let's give a shout out to 8th place, the Red Bull driver of KWP. Oh, actually, as Forza just overtook him now. And excuse me, not Red Bull, Toro Rosso. But KWP, last time we were at Silverstone, we actually had 2 divisions. We had so many drivers. KWP won the 2nd division race, so he feels really comfortable here. Maybe not so much in these wet conditions. He's going to try to hold on and see if he can get himself his first points of the season at a track that he has won at. Let's go back up front. Now, actually, McLaren has had some issues. He came into pit, and I saw the warning at the bottom. This is something we're going to have to watch tonight because it was very, very apparent last time we were here. Speeding onto pit road. There was maybe about 8 drivers who got speeding penalties going on the pit road. It's very, very tempting. It's an easy access. It's a straight shoot, but the guys are trying to get every tenth that they can out of it. So, it's going to be very interesting to see if we still have those issues. Not only speeding on pit road, but corner cuts are super strict at this track as well. We had a ton of penalties last time. We only had 3 drivers without any penalties last time we were at Silverstone. Dahi is now starting to catch up to Aaron Webb, your defending Silverstone winner. He's trying to get himself up there in the mix. After a very feisty race he had Red Bull Ring last week where he finished P2. He was part of that amazing 4-car battle for the lead before the pit stops to start that race. All right, McSendit continuing to set the fastest laps right now as he has now built a 2.5-second lead over Odoms. We're going to have a battle for 5th starting to build up as well. We see a 3-car gaggle. J-Rod, Aerostrike, Woodies. As a matter of fact, the other Ferrari, or Forza, is now up to 8th. He's 2 seconds back. He would love to make that a 4-car battle. And actually, now looking through the field, we have a pretty big battle going on. KWP in 10th place, looking for his first point of the season. And he has 5 guys within 4 seconds of him right now. We're looking at it. Riding with K-Dog right now. Teammate Psycho in front of him. KWP right in front of them with Chappa and Bubba not too far behind at all. Woody's in the Williams. We got Aerostrike in the Ferrari. Behind the Red Bull of J-Rod. That's starting to heat up. I'm also watching the delta between Aaron and Nick. Forza is still staying about 2 seconds behind this battle. He hasn't really caught up yet. Here we go. The battle for 3rd. Nick with a great run on the outside. Aaron is protecting that inside line. Nick is going to clear him. Move Nick up to P3, though Aaron's going to attack on the outside line. Hey, he doesn't go for anything risky. So Nick is going to take P3. Aaron's going to fall back to P4. As a matter of fact, now J-Rod, here we go. It looked like Aero originally attempted to move on J-Rod. J-Rod was able to defend. That opened the door for Woody's. So now Woody's, he's going to go ahead and tuck it in. And we have a Sector 2 yellow, and that's going to be it for McLaren. He is our first retiree of the race. Not 100% sure what part of the track this is on, but he has been that car, and it is all over. Aaron Webb now staying right behind Nick. Matter of fact, Aaron with a really nice run. Can he make it hold on the inside? Now Nick is going to have the preferred line on the right-hander coming up. Really long, windy right-hander, and that's just going to be... That inside line is just too strong in that corner, so Nick is going to be able to protect P3. Aaron's still right behind him, though, not going to make it easy. And Forza has caught up now. We have a 4-car battle for 5th place. And we have a Sector 1 yellow. Skim through real quick. And that's going to be Pac. Pac-Nim jumping in, filling in for B-More on the Force India car. Unfortunately, that's heavy wing damage. He is going to have to pit this time around. McSendit up front, started P2, attacked Odoms early. He just has tremendous pace in these intermediate conditions right now. He's opened up over a 3-second lead. Odoms, though, very strong pace himself. He's 5 seconds over Dahi. However, Dahi and Aaron Webb continuing to battle. And that's allowing J-Rod, too, and that group behind him to close in. So if we look at the overall, Dahi is 8.6. Forza is 12.9. So really, there's 4 seconds covering 6 cars right now. It is getting pretty feisty. And you see all 6 cars were right there in one shot as we were looking on Aaron's Force India. Sandman, absolutely, dude. This is... like, this league in F1 will never stop. It keeps going and going. Alright, Aaron falling a little bit. I mean, still within striking range, but... Matter of fact, as the Deltas update, he's now back within a second of Dahi. J-Rod still trying to close in, not to let those guys get too far away. Forza now is kind of tucked in about a second behind this group. They're all very close, but nobody's going for any strong moves yet. As we're on lap number 5 of 26. We're still seeing a decent amount of raindrops. The track is still pretty nicely wet. There's a line starting form just a little bit, but still no way to jump in for slicks just yet. You see Forza, a little bit of wheel spin there, kind of whipping it around a little bit. Aaron Webb looks to have a little bit of a slip up because he's dropped some time to Nick, and J-Rod has closed in. So behind Aaron Webb in 4th place, there's 3 cars all within a second of one another. Like we're seeing at Red Bull Ring, guys are keeping it nice and tight. And to be honest, if it wasn't for these slick conditions, I guarantee you we would see a lot more battling going on right now. The guys are playing smart. There is no safety cars due to it being bugged in this game. They don't want to risk tearing a wing off, like we said. It takes a ton of time to pit, on top of the time it takes to change the wing. And not only that, if it happened now, you have to pit again when the track dries out to get slicks on. Arrow took a little peek there. J-Rod just had a lot of momentum, though. It wasn't, anything more than just a peek. Aaron trying to close back up on Nick now. This last 3/4 of a lap, he's gained a 10th, just gained another. J-Rod trying to keep it within a second. Arrow is closing in on him now. Woody's slipped up just a little bit, but he's now closing back in on Arrow. You see Forza in the backdrop there, and Forza sliding. Wow, great grab by Forza. Really nice helicopter view, too. I do not remember this was the last time we were at Silverstone, so getting a nice view for this battle really for 4th place. Even though J-Rod is in 5th, you see Aaron Webb is right ahead of him in 4th place. Let's take time now. Let's go ahead and go through the rest of the field as everybody is still kind of staying nose to tail. So Ranga, we talked about him early. He's the big mover right now. He's +7. He's sitting in 9th place. He's got a nice, comfortable window. He's 6.5 behind Forza. However, as soon as the arrows go away, there we go. He's almost 6 seconds ahead of K-Dog. So Ranga has a nice, comfy cushion right now for 9th place. K-Dog just got around Chappa. K-Dog's currently sitting in that final point spot. Chappa in 11th where he qualified. Bubba's up +1 right now. Happy for Bubba, still early in the race. Bubba's gained a position. He is, about 1.5 seconds, almost 2 seconds behind the point, so Bubba's in the thick of it. Something that broke my heart to see is KWP had to come in and pit. Him and Psycho Sui both, I don't know if there was any contact between the two for wing damage, but it's really what it had to have been to pit this early in the race, was wing damage for both guys. So we mentioned it, KWP won the Division 2 race here. He really feels, he claimed he felt so comfortable at this track, but in these slip and slide conditions, unfortunately the Toro Rosso driver's not having the luck that he had last time here. But it's still early. We could still have, especially with as close as some guys are racing, he could still have a shot to maybe get back up in the points. Psycho right now the big loser in the race, unfortunately, with that pit stop. He is down 6. And then we got Pack, who had the slide, who already had to take a wing. Great sportsmanship by Pack. He knew he was on the straight. He had lead lap cars coming. Just went ahead, found a nice, comfy spot to get out of their way. Wonderful job for the rookie driver in this league. All right, here we go. Here's more pitters. Forza is in. Odoms is in. Let's look at tires. So they've pitted and they've stayed on intermediates. It's really shocking to see. These intermediates appear to be getting eaten up. So maybe Psycho and KWP were not wing damaged. They were just... Actually, for as long as Forza was in, I believe Forza may have been away. We'll just have to see how this all plays out once more guys come in. But McSendit now, due to Odom's pitting, has a 13-second lead over the field. Dahi sitting P2. He's got a little bit more breathing room over Aaron Webb now. It's 2.5 seconds. Arrow is moved a little bit away from J-Rod. It's over a second. But Arrow is staying glued to J-Rod's bumper. Just nose to tail there for 4th place. Woody's not far behind as well. He's staying in there. We're going to keep an eye on this scoreboard. See when the rest of these drivers pit. All right, Odom's now trying to drive his way back up through the field. He's in a drag race with Ranga. This is the battle for 7th. Odom's with a strong outside move. He's going to make it stick. So give Odom's P7. Woody's his pit. Woody's is in. He relinquishes 6th place. And Ranga went ahead and pit as well. These intermediates are just not last. And Chappa comes in, and Chappa gets a 5-second penalty for speeding. Actually, no, Chappa, that was a 5-second penalty for recording it. That's a rare. Normally they'll give you 3, but apparently Chappa must have had a pretty big slide in the game. Gave him a pretty big penalty for it. But Bubba is another pitter on this lap. He's bringing the Haas in. So far, our top 5 have not pit. Looking at our deltas on the scoreboard. This continues to be the battle of the race right now. Arrow has taken a few peeks at J-Rod, but for the most part has just stayed right to the rear of him. He's been, I don't think I've seen him further than maybe 0.6 of a second behind J-Rod since lap 2 or 3. Arrow is trying to see if he could just constantly stay in those mirrors. Maybe he can get J-Rod into a mistake. And I want to give a big shout out to chat, Jacko, Brian. Thank you guys so much. I had to rush this stream on. I've been so focused in on this race. New viewers, new people who are hopping in. Heart Palmer, thank you so much for the follow as well. I appreciate you guys helping me out and directing traffic in chat. Much, much love. And here we go. We've got 4 of the guys in. As a matter of fact, Arrow is the only one of the top 5 who stayed out. Extended's in, Dahi's in, Arrow's in, J-Rod's in. All taking on inners. The track's starting to dry out a little bit more. We just saw Odoms lay the fastest lap. Oh, we've got a Sector 2 yellow. Doesn't appear to be anything terrible. Unless the Sector 2 yellow may have been Arrow. I'm looking, he only has 5.5 seconds over McSendit, who just pit, so it'll be interesting to see. The real judge would be when Arrow pits. We'll compare Arrow to J-Rod, and that'll really tell us if Arrow had any issues. Now, Odoms, with that early pit, is able to close in on McSendit. There's 2 seconds between the two. Odoms went wide there. He's got to be careful. Triant, thank you so much for the follow. Very much appreciated. All right, now Dahi. So really when Arrow pits, Dahi's going to be back in 3rd. This is where we were before the pit cycle. Now there has been a swap. Because of the 1-lap undercut, Woody's has gotten around J-Rod, and Woody's is right on the back of Aaron Webb. Currently the battle for 5th. Realistically, the battle for 4th now that Arrow's in. Arrow has pitted, so McSendit's going to take the lead. Odoms is going to take back 2nd. Dahi will go to 3rd. Matter of fact, Woody's now making a look at Aaron. Great run down that stretch for Woody. Completely cleared Aaron. And he's going to take the P5. Aaron, though, taking a peek. Not going to make it too risky, though. Still, in these unpreferred conditions, Aaron trying for a little over-under there. And he's got to run, but Aaron smartly backs off. You do not want to go too wide in turn 1 in these conditions. It's a recipe for disaster. So Aaron, if I was Aaron, I would probably look to make my move after turn 4 down the DRS straight. Even though we don't have DRS, Aaron's going to see if maybe he can get a good run, use what little bit of slipstream that you can get in these conditions. And Arrow called it, during his pit stop, Arrow called it out. The yellow wasn't him. But unfortunately, staying out a little bit too long has dropped Arrow down to 7th place, but he's right back on the tail of J-Rod. Matter of fact, those guys are not too far behind Woody's and Aaron. So the order has swapped up a little bit, mainly with Woody's jumping spots over the 3 drivers. So our first pit stop has mixed things up. Now, even if it doesn't dry out, we just saw the intermediates at best go 10 laps. We're going to have a second stop in this race no matter what, whether it's for another pair of intermediates or if the track dries up and we go to slicks. This is going to be very, very interesting. Forza now still holding down to 8th place. Ooh, Forza with a lot of oversteer. You really tell how much that car is spinning the tires. As McSendit has retaken the fastest lap of the race now. Arrow getting closer to J-Rod. Arrow finally make a move. He's going to take a peek. J-Rod's going to have the preferred line, though. Arrow's going to go for an over-under. Can he make it stick? No, he can't. Super close between the two. J-Rod's going to get the momentum. He's going to hold P6. But because these guys are battling now, they've fallen back from Aaron Webb. Aaron Webb's just slowly falling back from Woody's. Forza now, right behind his Ferrari teammate. We've got a 3-car battle going on for 6th place right now. Also, look, and we have a 3-car battle for 11th between K-Dog, Bubba, and KWP. Actually, make that 4 cars as Chapa is joined in now as well. Psycho, after that early pit stop, has worked his way back up into 10th place. He has a 3.5 second buffer over his teammate K-Dog and that 4-car battle going on. Forza falls back a little bit, but Arrow has got to run on J-Rod. We're coming up to the double S's. Not really a spot to make a move, so Arrow's going to keep it conservative. See if he can get J-Rod to slip up and then pounce. Really good run for Arrow. Could this be it? He's tucked in behind. He's getting a bit of a run. Looks like J-Rod's going to protect the inside. Oh, no! J-Rod went back to the outside. Can Arrow make it stick? The car is sliding. But he makes it work. Now J-Rod's going to fight back. Very, very nice move by Arrow. Great job for both drivers avoiding contact. J-Rod can't fight back. Arrow is going to hold P6 now. After about 10 laps, finally Arrow has made the move and gotten around J-Rod. Really, really nice move for the Ferrari driver. But J-Rod is not going to let him escape. He's going to fight right back, though the other Ferrari is right behind him. Hey, is that... just so you know, for the Precision Racing as a whole on the PS4, we have F1, we have NASCAR Heat, we have Project Cars 2, like Brian said. We have a GT3 class league in Project Cars 2. Project Cars 2, it's set to realistic assists, so there is traction control in the cars. There is not stability controls. There is ABS. For traction control in F1, it is the driver's discretion if they want to use full, medium, or no traction control. Alright, let's go farther back in the field as K-Dog has had some issues. We saw him recovering from the grass. He was in 11th. He dropped down to 13th. That's going to move Bubba and Chapa up 1 spot each. Bubba now just 3 seconds behind Psycho for that final point. Oh, no! In the heat of this multi-car battle we have going on, Aaron Webb has just had a 3-second penalty. So that's going to be huge come the end of this race. As we look back to Forza, another Ferrari trying to make a run at J-Rod now. As Arrow has started to pull away from J-Rod after battling him for well over 10 laps. And to Jacko's point is that the more traction control, the slower you will be. But some of the guys just prefer to, have that consistency. It's all about driver preference on that one. We have issues. We are seeing... Oh, that's Pac. Never mind. I thought that may have been Aaron Webb in the Force India. That was Pac, just trying to get out of everybody's way. Whoa! Really, really tight racing there. Didn't look like there was... It was wheel-on-wheel contact. Forza, no wing damage. But the guys just were not in preferred lines, really. Getting around the lap car at Pac. Kind of had a very awkward turn 3 there, but no harm, no foul. Forza is going to go back to attacking J-Rod. As we're watching this battle, I'm looking at our scoreboard. So Odoms has kind of slowed back down. McSendit now, that was a 2-second gap. It's back above 3 seconds again. Both drivers, though, running away from the field as we have to go 18.5 seconds back from Odoms to find third place Nick Dahi. Remember, Dahi won here at Silverstone last time around. He is going to need a lot of help if he wants to defend his race win. We're currently sitting on the podium and 3 seconds ahead of Woody's. Woody's has over a 3-second lead on Aaron Webb in 5th. Arrow Strike is starting to close in on Aaron now. He is almost within a second. Arrow pulling away from J-Rod. There's a 3-second gap. J-Rod, as we see, as we're riding with Forza, not much of a gap between the other Ferrari. And we see up ahead, there's the Force India of Aaron, the Ferrari of Arrow. So we've got 2 battles going on right now. Talked about earlier, Renga still running in 9th place. He's in the points. Bit of a lonely race for Renga, though. He has not seen anybody in quite a while. However, especially in conditions like this, maybe it's not too bad to be lonely. So Reagan's just looking to run his laps, take home some points tonight. Psycho, he's extended his gap over Bubba. It's now 4 seconds. Psycho looking strong right now, trying to take home that final point. Hey, Bananas, thanks for hopping in. Yeah, we had a very interesting qualifying. It started out intermediates. At the very end, it dried out. We only had 4 drivers able to jump on slicks and put down a faster lap. So far in this race, it's been intermediates throughout. However, there is a chance that it may dry out here at the end. These intermediate tires have only been going 8 to 10 laps, though. So it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen. The rain is still falling pretty good. So I would expect in the next 5 laps, we're going to have to see everybody come in for another set of intermediates. It'll be interesting at that point if somebody says, you know, I don't care if the track's drying out. I don't want to make another pit stop. I want to hang with this. Or, matter of fact, here comes Odoms. Odoms is in early. And then again, Odoms was the first of the leaders to pit last time as well. And there's another pair of intermediates for Odoms. Now, Odoms have only gone 8 laps each time. He's going to have to make this pair go 10 laps. The one thing for Odoms to help him out right now is he needs to hope that the track dries out and it forces everybody's hand to make another pit stop. Odoms relinquishes second place. He's going to rejoin the track in 4th. You see Aaron Webb was right behind him. So Odoms losing 2 spots right now due to that pit stop. But we just saw on the bottom there was Woody's right in front of him. And the other Williams of Nick Dahi just a few seconds in front of Woody's. Here we go. Forza's in. Psycho's in. I'm expecting over the next 3 laps or so, we should see the entire field pitting again. This reminds me a lot of what we saw last season at Monza. Monza was a race that was intermediates throughout, and then in the final 5 laps started drying up. We all remember the incredible run. McSendit stayed out on intermediates. He had a huge lead. The track was too dry. He lost a ton of time. We watched Arrow make up almost 10 seconds on the final lap just to miss out on the win by 0.7 of a second. We might have the same kind of scenario playing out here. If the rain starts letting up, it's going to be a matter of who takes the gamble to stay out, who comes in for slick tires. As all this is starting to cycle through, the closest battle, again, Arrow. Earlier it was J-Rod, now he finds himself behind Aaron Webb. Arrow trying to race himself up into the top 5. We got a battle going on in the back between the Renault and the Haas. K-Dog is going to take it from Bubba. K-Dog now looking at Chappa because of Psycho's pit stop. Chappa took over 10th. K-Dog's trying to hunt him down. We got a 3-car battle for the final point standing right now. However, once they pit, Psycho, based on the Delta, is going to take that spot back. And Sandman calls it out, and we've been seeing it. There is a dry line starting to form. This is really what Odoms is going to need. Because he had to pit so... and matter of fact, all right, so Bubba just jumps in. Ranga has jumped in. And Bubba got caught speeding. You cannot underplay it. We saw it last time here. So many speeding penalties, and it's continuing again tonight. That was at least the 4th speeding penalty. Forza, where are you at? Forza went. We saw the car sliding. He went way off into the grass. He did not lose a spot, but Forza just lost a huge chunk of time. Let's go to the other Ferrari of Arrow. Getting closer and closer on Aaron. Woody's starting to close it. Or excuse me. Odoms is starting to close in on Woody's. Woody's is slowly closing in on his teammate, Nick. So we're going to have a podium battle start up here shortly. But the top 3 all will have to pit again. That's going to work out in Odom's favor. Yeah, Brian, it did say 45 minutes, which would pretty much bring us to the end of the race, but we've all seen that, we've all seen that weather forecast lie to us. Especially at Canada, where it drizzled but never got wet. All right, Woody's is in. Odoms just set the fastest lap of the race. Remember, meteorology is more of an opinionated science, not hard facts. Woody's throwing on the inners. It actually helps out Odoms as well because Woody's jumping in prevents Odoms from having to get into a battle. So Odoms is still being able to just go out there and tick out fast laps. It's for anybody not familiar driving in the cockpit, what we just saw at Aero is pretty amazing. Off of that fast left, he pretty much power slid throughout. You can hear him working the accelerator. The wheel really wasn't moving. He was turning the car with the accelerator until he got full grip. That was really an awesome turn. Any dirt fans out there, just a little bit of a sprint car, not a full-fledged sprint car. We'll call it a late model. Brian, we'll talk last night later. Should have been a Hootie win. But that's for another time. All right, Chapa's coming to pit. We're still waiting for McSendit and Dahi. Odoms is catching up on Dahi. Can Odoms get lucky for a second time in a row? Could the other Williams pit right in front of him and he not have to battle out? Matter of fact, there it is. This is working out perfect for Odoms. He has got his 2 positions back. He did not have to battle for it. He's able to just run as hard as he can right now. He is the fastest car out on the track due to those fresh inners. Last time we saw him plug off a couple seconds from McSendit due to short pitting. We'll see what happens when McSendit pits. And then if Odoms is able to make up that time, Odoms then has to pray that the track dries out. Like we said, Odoms took his first 2 pairs of inners, 8 laps each. If he was going to finish this race, he would have to take this pair 10. We still have a pretty good amount of rain falling right now. Aero's still within a second of Aaron. Now, what works out for the Williams drivers, Dahi and Woody's right now, is they both pitted, and they've got a bunch of empty track in front of them. You see, Dahi is 12 seconds back at J-Rod. Woody's is just a second and a half behind his teammate, but both guys are going to be able to just floor it throughout. Now, here's a very interesting battle for 10th. K-Dog was involved in earlier. He just got a 3-second penalty, so that's going to hurt the Renault driver. We know there's 3 or 4 cars trying to battle for that point back there. Things are a little bit shuffled right now with pit stops. But once it all plays out, we'll see if that penalty costs them. Aero not able to get the run he needs to take a peek at Aaron, but still giving him a whole mirror full of red. Both drivers staying out as Odoms, lap after lap, just setting the fastest lap right now. He's within 24 seconds of McSendit. It's going to be very interesting based on the pit delta. McSendit doesn't pit soon. Now I'm wondering with McSendit right now, is he trying to hold on long enough? He took his first set of inners, 10 laps, so it's no shock he hasn't pitted yet. Is he trying to hold on long enough to maybe go on slicks? We see the dry line forming, but we also see the mist still spraying up. I think it's too wet for it. We still see the raindrops falling as well. And no driver has put on slicks yet either. All right, we got to go back to Aero. Oh, takes a peek at Aaron. It's just not there quite yet. Matter of fact, too, this is a real podium battle going on right now. Dahi and Woody's. Woody's has caught his teammate. It's not the first time this season that we've seen these guys battle. All right, Aero's got a... Oh, I thought he had a little bit of a better run. We saw the Delta was with it. Oh, this is huge. DRS is enabled. All right, we've got a Sector 1 yellow that may have been a lap car moving out of the way. Not 100% sure. All right, here we go. Oh, no, it was Odoms. All right, no. Odoms is going to come in. Is Odoms going to throw on slicks? Aaron Webb is coming in. Arrow stays out. Very interesting here. Odoms is throwing on super softs. He's going to give it a shot. Aaron Webb is going to do the same thing. J-Rod is going to do the same thing. This actually is going to really hurt the Williams drivers. This is also going to be huge for McSendon because now when he pits, he is going to have that same gap that he had before because Odoms made the extra pit stop. Forza's in. K-Dog's in. Ranga is in. Aaron is out now. Odoms able to leave pit road in front of both Williams drivers. It's going to be very, very interesting to see. Now we've got a mixture of tires out there with about 5 laps to go. We're going to watch Aaron just for a moment. Car doesn't appear to be overly sliding. Of course, it's still wet out there, so not 100% traction, but car looks very controllable. Matter of fact, let's get the tires out. So, Honda in the chat cheering for K-Dog. K-Dog's looking good right now, especially, too, if Chapa ends up pitting to get off those inners. K-Dog currently in 10th, would take 9th if Chapa has to pit. And here we go, Arrow is in. Remember, Arrow was tucked in right behind Aaron Webb before Aaron jumped in for the pit stop. We're going to see what the lap and a half difference on these slick tires are when Arrow leaves. And here comes Dahi. Woody stays out. This had to be a team call because Woody's would have been stacked up behind Nick had they pit together. That's the one problem when you're battling as teammates. You really, with F1, you cannot pit at the same time. All right, Arrow's out. And Arrow is falling away from Aaron. And like we saw the first half of this race, he is now tucked in behind J-Rod, both drivers on super softs. McSendon is in. Though, as you saw, McSendon has a 44-second lead. Super conservative, entering pit road. Did not want to risk a penalty at all. McSendon is going to come in, get his super softs, and it's going to be very comfy lead still, since he was able to stretch his inners out so far. There's his super softs. He is going to retain the lead. Woody's and Nick Dahi should have been a battle for third, but because they pitted so early on inners, and everybody else was able to ride their inners straight to slicks, we saw Dahi, who should be battling for third, is back at 7th right now. When Woody's pits, Woody's is going to fall back there with him, which is going to look great for Aaron Webb. Matter of fact, even if Woody's doesn't pit, Aaron is catching him right now. Just under 2.5 seconds. You see Aaron, those tires different. Matter of fact, here comes Woody's. Woody's is in. That's going to give Aaron P3. Aerostrike has gotten around J-Rod. Oh no! Oh no! K-Dog was looking good for a 9th place finish. And unfortunately, the Renault is busted up. That's going to be it for K-Dog. That's DNF number 2. Tough, tough break. And Woody's came into pit running in 3rd place. He's going to fall down to 7th. Dahi's going to be up to 6th. And Woody's is going to have a mirror full of Forza Alonso. As J-Rod and Arrow continue to battle now. The 10 laps earlier wasn't enough. They need to battle some more. I absolutely will, Jacko. Because I think he really stretched out that second set of tires. to make sure that he was going to be able to pit for slicks. You see McSendit, 9-second lead over Odoms. J-Rod pushing track limits. He wants a shot at Arrow. This fight is not over. He's going to have DRS. But McSendit right now with that 9-second lead, he's able to take it easy. We know Odoms is trying to run his tail off, see if he can close the gap. But McSendit, remember last time here, McSendit had 4 unforced errors. He finished outside of the points. It was just a rare stinker, if you will. I know that's got to be sitting in the back of McSendit's mind, so he does not want any mistakes here these final 2 laps. And Psycho has just overtaken Chapa for the final point spot. Chapa is stuck out there on the inners. Forza Alonso just set the fastest lap in the race right now, as he is trying to catch up to Woody's and take P7. So this is going to work out well for Psycho in the Renault. Unfortunately, his teammate crashed out. But Renault's still looking to bring home points tonight as Psycho gets around Chapa and is now just driving away from him. J-Rod's falling a little bit behind Arrow, but Arrow has one mistake. J-Rod is going to close that gap back up. As McSendit has just run a masterful race tonight like he has all season, and McSendit takes the fast lap back. With 2 to go. 7.5 seconds separates first and second place, as Odoms just took the fastest lap for McSendit now. Odom's your pole sitter. McSendit got him around early. The stronger pace on the intermediate tires. Was able to also have better tire wear. Right now just kind of cruising around. 7 seconds, trying not to push him. Make sure he has no mistakes here for the final lap and a half. Odom's pretty much running qualifying laps right now. We know the tire wear is not a factor for as late as everybody pitted for these super softs, so he's giving it everything he's got to try to eliminate that gap. Has a pretty good cushion over Aaron Webb in third, and Aaron has a nice 8-second cushion over Arrow, and J-Rod is back on Arrow's tail. So Aaron trying to end his podium drought. It has been quite a while. Oh, that's not good for Forza as he's trying to attack Woody's for 7th place. Forza just got a 3-second time penalty. Odoms now has it under 7 seconds from McSendit. Again, full speculation, McSendit's just not pushing it right now. Running good times, but not running to the limit. Doesn't want to make any mistakes. And another gap that I'm watching close right now, Psycho trying to close in on Renga as well. And Odoms just set the fastest lap again as we have the white flag. McSendit going in turn 3, turn 4, heading to the first DRS straight. He has 6 seconds over Odoms. So all McSendit's got to do is just hit his marks. And we have a battle going on for 7th as Forza is attacking Wood. Remember, Forza has a 3-second penalty. I'm not sure about Woody's. We'll have to see on the final scoreboard. And J-Rod is within DRS of Arrow here on this final lap. Keeping the camera McSendit. Your points leader, your defending champion. As he goes through the double S's. He's on the back DRS straight. Just a handful more turns to go. Odoms still chasing him down, but he's running out of time. Odoms has got that delta down to 5 seconds. Just an absolute run Odoms is having on these slicks, but unfortunately, too little, too late. That extra pit stop just unfortunately cost Odoms as McSendit. Masterful race, amazing drives on those inners, and he is going to take the win. Odoms is going to cross the line P2. For that, would be the 7th win in 10 races for McSendit this season. Just an absolute tear as he's defending his championship. I'm trying not to say anything. I'm waiting for the final turn to come up. Aaron Webb has done it. This podium drought is over. He has taken that Force India P3. Congratulations. Very much looking forward to that podium interview. And there we go. And J-Rod, even though he was trying to attack Arrow, J-Rod did have that 3-second penalty, so Arrow's going to have 4th. J-Rod in 5th. Dahi crosses the line in 6th. We've got a battle for 7th. Forza all over the back. And Woody's did have a penalty too, so those guys were racing heads up. Woody's is going to take 7th by just a 1/10 of a second over Forza. Ferrari driver making a hell of a run there at the end. Just falls a little bit short. And a matter of fact, there we go. We have the lap cars crossing the line. This is going to guarantee points to Renga and Psycho Sui. Psycho, 1.8 seconds back, entering the last couple corners. He's going to need a slip up from Renga, which isn't going to happen. Renga's going to take home 9th. Psycho's going to take home 10th. The last car in the lead lap is going to snag the last point. Congratulations to Psycho. And there we go. Here's our podium. The top step again for the 7th time in 10 races. McSendit. Hoist the trophy. We got the McLaren of Odoms. P2. The Force India of Aaron Webb. P3 for the first time since season... I believe it was Coda season 8? Waiting for the celebrations to end so we can look at the final scoreboard. And there we go. So McSendit, Odoms, and Aaron. We've got Arrow in 4th, J-Ron in 5th, Dahi and Woody. They pitted at the wrong time for the inners. That would have been the podium battle, but they got caught out there with that extra pit stop. So tough break for the Williams drivers. They're going to come home 6th and 7th. Forza in 8th, Renga in 9th. Psycho's going to grab the final point. KWP falls 1 position of a point after his D2 win. Bubba's going to be 12th with 30 seconds of penalties. That's our Bubba. And that's going to be it. Just an incredible run tonight. We talked about it when we knew the wet conditions of the track drying out. It was going to come down to strategy calls. And boy, howdy, was pit road a huge factor in tonight. Absolutely nuts. That is true, Bubba. You did keep your car in one piece. So that's a success for tonight. We'll take it. Odom's calling it out, the 3-stop masterclass. Absolutely nuts. This is why we love the rain. Not only that, too, just the change in weather forces everybody to stay on their toes. But let's get to the party now. Let's toss out some invites. There's McSendit. There's Marquez and Mr. Aaron Webb. And it might help if actually I had... There we go. What is going on, gentlemen?
What's up?
All right, we got y'all in here, so let's start this officially. Taking home win number 7 on the season, really due to not only a strong place on inners, but strong tire conservation on inners. McSendit just showing all kinds of skill tonight, my man. Congratulations on the win. There was some questions in chat.
Thank you.
What was your percentage
Sure.
for the second set of inners that you had when you finally pitted?
Dude, like I was in really good shape actually. I was only at like 60%. I think I could have made it till the very end if it wasn't drying up, and that was my plan. But Yeah, surprisingly really good. I was really driving like as carefully as possible because like once Odom's pit for a second set of inters, I knew that like once I stayed out, I was committed to that because if I would pit, I'd be behind him. So luckily it worked out.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm really happy that track's over with.
Well, we talked about it several times, man. Last time at Silverstone, you showed you were human. You had the stinker, and now you totally erased the memory of that with that drive tonight, my man.
Whew, yeah, feels good. And I think like the conditions were prime for a second extended stinker. So I, like if it was gonna happen, it was gonna happen on like a half wet track.
Well, there was no doubt that
I was a little worried.
Odoms was just tearing down the track on the supers at the end. But I was mentioning too, I'm like, that previous race had to be in the back of your mind. You're taking those last 2 laps easy. Like just hit the points, nothing
That's
fancy.
literally all I was thinking about. I was like, oh my god, like Odom's just like baiting me into going for a fast lap right now. Like I won't do it. I won't do it.
Oh, good times. Well, speaking of which, let's go ahead and jump to the second step of the podium. Which I don't know how many people can say that they 3-stopped their way into a podium. Odom's my man.
That race was just pure mind games, to be honest. Pure mind games.
We figured, man, because we didn't know when the track was going to dry out. Or, if we were going to have a Canada type deal where we didn't know what the hell the track was going to do at any point. But so you seem to beat up your inners more than everybody else, but that was just due to raw speed. And at the end, it just, like I said, you 3-stopped into a podium, man. If you had a couple more laps,
Really.
Who knows what had happened.
Well, not really. On inters, as soon as I saw the race was wet, I just ripped the race off completely because I'm not good in the wet. It takes me too long to get accustomed to the wet, and by the time I did get accustomed, Extended was 2 seconds up the road. But I realized that I didn't have the pace on, but I thought that I'm thinking that these inters are going off quite a bit. Like the same as Extended, I could have gone extra laps if I wanted to, but I just wanted to goad him into pitting as well. I wanted to get that first undercut and then be ahead in the dry period. Then when I saw that he pit earlier as well to cover me off, I wanted to try it again.
Well,
but I was hoping his tires would go off, but they didn't.
Right,
so.
and it almost backfired on you. But again, like you said, you had the pace. Unfortunately, the real losers of that were the 2 Williams drivers, Dahi and Woody's. They
do the same thing.
Yeah, they were the ones who got caught really bad with the undercut on that, which worked out to your advantage as well, too, because when you were coming back up, those guys were pitting in perfectly in front of you to where you were just able to keep flying and you didn't have to battle.
Perfect time. It was honestly, like, the little hallelujah was playing in my head every time they both went to the pits. It was absolutely perfect timing. After that, I was just praying that Extended tires just blow up. But they didn't.
Well, overall, you grabbed the pole tonight. I know you would have liked one spot more, but I mean, let's face it too. It's been quite a while since we talked to you, my man. Yeah, you missed a week, and then you had 4 races outside of the podium. So even though it wasn't a win, this has got to be a good feeling to get back up in here tonight, man. It's been a month. What the hell, Odoms?
It has. It's been so long. My form in this league has been absolutely terrible. So it was good to challenge. Good to get pulled by 8/10. The feeling when I crossed the line, with literally 1 second left in quality, that was scary,
you know what? It was weird on my screen. It looked like you didn't get it. So at the very end, when you clipped, I was like, "What the hell just happened?" That was nuts. That was the end of quality was a lot of fun with just 4 of you guys there on slicks.
Yeah.
Well, good times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, masterful drive though tonight, man. Good to see you get back in form, and we got Hungaroring next week, so we'll see what happens.
I love that track.
All right, this has been a long time coming, and by that I mean it's never happened since I've taken over broadcasting. It's over. Aaron's on the podium. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you, finally.
I know, my man. Well, let's talk about it. You were one of the 4 guys on the slicks. You qualified 3rd. You ended up losing the spot to Nick. You were involved in a lot of battles going on. And then when you made that call to go in that 1 lap earlier than most people for the Super Softs, it worked out in your favor and you got that gap.
Yeah, definitely. I knew I was gonna have to be stopping once for the inners, but based upon what we saw pre-race, it looked like we could do the two stints to get to the slick tire, and that just kind of conserved my tire wear on that second stint. It allowed Arrow to catch me up a little bit there, and unfortunately, a little bit of a controversial deal where he was kind of off to the right, and I thought for sure he was pitting with me since it was time for slicks. He was planning apparently to stay out another lap, so we kind of had some contact as I was trying to get into pit lane. But yeah, man, just couldn't be happier. Just ran a little bit more downforce setup and kept it on track. Just glad to be back on the
I
podium,
was about to
man.
say we heard McSend He had it, the last Silverstone race in the back of his mind the last couple laps. Did you have the last couple seasons in the back of your mind the last couple laps?
Oh, dude, that whole last stint on supers, I'm like, okay, what corner am I gonna throw it away? And put it into the wall. Just trying to. I probably was driving about half a second slower than I could have, just trying to make sure I brought it home. So
Well, awesome, 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 my man. I'm glad you were able to bring it home. It's like I said, I can't say it's been quite a while because it's never happened, but finally, I get my buddy up here in the chat.
yeah, man, it's good to talk to you, man.
Absolutely. So, all right, Twitch.
And congrats
Oh,
to
go
the
ahead.
other guys. Extended Marquez says, uh, you know, good race, man.
Yeah, nice job, Aaron. I'm so stoked for you, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
GG.
All right, Twitch. Give it up to your podium. Again, number 7 on the season. McSend We finally get Odoms back after a month. He finishes P2. And then Aaron snags his first podium of the season. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Thanks. And last thing, Hoot, thanks again. I know I don't get to do this much. We are so appreciative of everything you do for this league, man. Taking time away from